What's going on, YouTube? This is your Melanated Warrior, Haywood Haynes. It's another installment of Facts Over Feelings. Leave your feelings at the door so we can get to the facts. Number 5, and we live. So let's get right into it. Now, first, I want to make a correction before we get right off into the knowledge. Now, I was showing you the Ring of Fire, right? And one of the things that I want to, correct was I had talked about how I said this region, in the last 12,000 years was responsible for the vast majority of the earthquake activity. And what I meant to say was a volcanic activity. Obviously, that's why they call it the Ring of Fire. I think out of the 25 very violent volcanic eruptions, 22 of those occurred in this region. So it shows you just how much energy is packed within this region, right? You see the Mariana Trenches in this region. Of course, this, like I said, this is where these tremendous trees are, these sequoias and these redwoods, these huge old trees with tons of energy are all in this area. So you see the significance, of these individuals and the, running around in the forest, butt naked at the Bohemian Grove and stuff, trying to snatch up it's like I said, they fully understand, who some of the most intelligent beings are in this realm, and it is our trees. It's what they call trees, and these trees get huge. Matter of fact, sequoia can take up as much CO2 as 250 trees. You see what I'm saying? So that goes back to that what we were talking about. It was like if the so-called European was so concerned about global warming, why is he chopping down all your trees in your rainforest? Why is he contaminating your oceans? Oceans is another source that collects CO2 and radiation. So he's not concerned about global warming. That's his excuse. Okay? So what we have to understand here is that what we're looking at is an area of energy that is that comes about from trees generating that energy. You got to think about how much energy that they pack. Obviously, we know it because when they decompose, they dig up that energy in order to power their matrix. That's what you need to know. Okay. All right. And so one of the things that we want to observe too is like, this is one thing that they know about trees. And it's hidden secret from us. But they always tell us about the connection that we have, not just to mention that we already know the obvious connection. When we breathe, we give them carbon dioxide and it gives us oxygen in return. So it's a symbiotic relationship that you just can't get away from. Not to mention you create building materials from it in order to, for shelter, shade, they are just here and showing you in so many different ways of the intimate, letting you know about the intimate connection that they have with you, but we've been ignoring it. And they've been only telling us the truth through their movies and their cartoons and their TV programming, right? So we got to be aware of that. But one of the things, like I said, I wanted to talk about was just how important that is when we're saying what? Those trees, you have a tree called Methuselah, which is supposed to be the oldest tree, almost about 5,000 years old. Now, Methuselah, the biblical character, was what? The son of Enoch, the father of Lamech, and the grandfather of Noah. Now, this is crazy because why? A tree that they said was older than the Methuselah was Prometheus, until they cut it down and claiming that they didn't know it was that old. But Prometheus is interesting because Prometheus obviously is a Greek god. It's a trickster. It's the one who brought fire to man and taught man how to manipulate metals. Okay, but the thing that we're looking at is that Prometheus had a son called Deucalion. Deucalion was like Noah. He survived the flood. I think his flood was like 9 days or something. And then he was placed with the responsibility to repopulate the earth. And I believe his wife's name was Pyra or something like that. But they, birthed a daughter too as well. They had a few children, but they birthed a daughter by the name of Helena. Helena is the mythical character that they say that, that the Greeks come from. That's why they call Greek culture Hellenistic. Okay, so that's what's crucial. So they know about these things, and this is another interesting fact. Do you know the old tree Methuselah? They won't even tell you where it's located. Oh, we have to protect it. First thing popped up in my mind: who's searching for it? I wouldn't have knew if I ran across Methuselah. It would have looked like any old other tree to me. They won't even let you know of its location. Did you know that? So like I said, we have to understand that these are great beings that we're in the face of. We've already told you that, they're more intelligent. We've already showed you the evidence for that. So we don't need to keep going over information that we've already, put together. But this is the thing that, like I said, I don't know whether or not I went over this information, but it warrants going over it again, just in case. One of the things that, like I said, when we was talking about mountains and why they're so important, because a lot of these mountains are volcanoes. You see what I'm saying? And that's why, and also the high mountains are held in high regard, because the highest mountains, will be where the most powerful gods rest. Just like Mount Olympus is the highest mountain in Greece. And then also these Greeks and Romans had, named or renamed the mountain in the Sinai Peninsula, and called it Catherine, and then called it Mount Sinai. Matter of fact, renamed the whole peninsula. It's all in Egypt, and that should be alarming to you. Moses leads his people out of Egypt to still be in Egypt. When he let his people out and they went to Mount Sinai for him to receive the commandments, you're still in Egypt. The Sinai Peninsula is still in Egypt. That's what's crucial for your understanding. So, the point is that they go up on these mountains, and these mountains carry a lot of energy. You got to remember, trees grow up on mountains. They carry this thermal energy, and all this energy, gets put back into the earth, and then this energy builds up, they say, in form of gases and all of that. And then these mountains spew out, it can blow their top, so to speak, right? And then spew out these diamonds, spew out these minerals. And because what is it? Remember, the difference between lava and magma is that magma is just underground. Lava is when magma comes to the top. And what is lava made out of? Silica and oxygen. Lava is literally liquid sand. You see, because then that goes back to them showing you they're the sand people, or they're right under you, under carbon. And that's the energy that they come from. That's the little bit of carbon that they're able to receive in order to be inside of this experience. That's what you need to understand. That's crucial. You see, so like I said before, one of the things that we're going to do, I think that I've done it. If not, I just want to do it again because I want to hit home as to why this is so important. First we're going to show you. We're going to pick up the periodic table of elements right quick. Pick up the periodic table of elements. We're going to try to go through this quickly because I know I got 6 minutes already in, but sometimes I get to talking, I look up and it's like 15, 20 minutes in. Makes me a little bit nervous that I'm not going to be able to get out all this information in a timely manner. But, excuse me. Looking at this periodic table of elements, what did we say before? What did we talk about? Now, I'm not going to be able to zoom in, but you guys have seen this enough, and hopefully you got one in front of you. Now, look at these blocks. Now, we said that these are cubes. Remember, I brought this out before. Why isn't carbon big, especially if it's responsible for all life, and it's the king? You see what I'm saying? But it's not. But we notice what we're trying to look at is what's hidden in plain sight. What's hidden in plain sight is what? They're in the shape of cubes. Also already giving you the dead giveaway that, carbon being the king of elements and everything else, it only bonds in crystalline form. And these blocks, the cube is the basic building block for carbon. So that's why they have these in cubes. Now notice when I put this aluminum with this oxygen and aluminum oxide, guess what I make? I can make rubies and sapphires. Of course, there's some trace minerals like chromium and all of that stuff to make the rubies red and sapphires blue and stuff like that. But you get the point. Silicon, when I mix that with oxygen, I make quartz or sand. You see what I'm saying? And also when these rings come together, silicon dioxide or what's called cyclosilicates, these make amethyst, and it makes emerald. Obviously to make emerald, you need is something called beryllium aluminum cyclosilicates. That may sound fancy, but that's just beryllium right here. That's aluminum, and then that's silicon, and that's oxygen, called beryllium aluminum cyclosilicates, right? And that's going to make your emeralds. Like I said, that's going to make your amethyst. Amethyst is like purple. Amethyst is purple. Amethyst is actually Greek, for a term for to not be intoxicated. They thought by actually drinking out of amethyst, cups made of amethyst, that they wouldn't become intoxicated. So that, that is what that is. So the point being is that when you combine these certain chemicals and they crystallize, what do? You get certain gems. Now question, what's the difference between, a diamond and other gems? The difference is the diamond is pure. It only has to combine with carbon to make a diamond. All other gems have to combine with other stuff. That's why the diamond is the most prided gem. Okay? Now, like I said, if you haven't seen it already, what do you see? What game does this look like? I'm going to tell you that they had it hidden in plain sight, right in front of you. What game is this? I just showed you the jewels and all that. Oh, maybe if I show it to you, maybe you could, maybe this will help you. Maybe this will help you. Maybe this will help you. And this why I say, that's why it's like being hidden in plain sight is just just unbelievable, man. It makes you, it really blows you away how they did it. And then it shows you, one, that they knew, and that this is the only way that they mock you, and so what's this game? Ever played that game before? What that look like? periodic table of elements, the cubes. This is tetris. Matter of fact, tetris is Greek for 4. 4 represents the cube. That's a dead giveaway. That's a dead giveaway. Now we're going to watch him play, like I said, 1976 Copyright Act, Section 107. This is just for purposes of commentary and obviously getting to the truth. See the blocks, see the cubes? Now, when you put these cubes and stuff together, what do you get? You get these gems. There's rubies or sapphires right there, rubies. Then you got, I think that's, let me see. Yeah, that's emerald. You got rubies. You see what I'm saying? You get these gems. And see, the big block is the carbon. That's the only time they make it bigger. And show you, see right there, that block? And see all these other impurities, when they bond, they can create different gems. But we already know, if you were good at Tetris, like I used to love to play Tetris and wasn't even aware of it, you get the blocks and you get these long lines. It's easy to make a diamond or a block, you see? It's easy to make that cube. But it's harder to make it when you get these impurities. But when you put them together and you're successful, what happens? You make gems. This is the periodic table of elements right there in front of your face. And you've played it your whole life and wasn't even aware of it. And like I said, tetris literally means 4 in Greek. And 4 is representative of the cube. So that's not a whimsical, I'm not reaching here. That's what you have to understand. Now, one of the things that I wanted to get into, because I don't have too much time and I'm looking at the time, and I wanted to kind of get off into this because this wench really made me upset when I was looking at it, and I couldn't help because I tried to ignore it, but it kept popping on my feed. And of course, I've been talking about the real Superman, for a while. And when I seen this illustration, it really upset me. And I was like, look what we're doing at this time. All this divisive rhetoric, creating instability within an already divided community is something that we cannot accept right now at this moment in time. Yet we have these type of individuals out here, and they don't care. They're making a living out of it. I looked at this chick, I'm like, damn. You playing for the other team. She on the other side of the court making baskets for the other team, talking about how to black man down. Get your ass on the other side of the court. Come back and play for the home team. Because one of the things, before I want to say something, in 1954, this is one thing that's crucial, because we're going to tie all this up, but it has everything to do with it. In 1954, the Brown versus Board of Education, it was two individuals, two sellouts, two black individuals by the name, I believe Robert was his name, but I know their last name was Clark, and Mammy Clark. I'll never forget her name because I know what a mammy is when I see one. And it was ironic that her name was Mammy of all names. But the thing was that they did the doll test. They took some little kids inside of a room and showed them a black doll and a white doll, and all the negative attributes and all the negative qualities that could ever be talked about or ever be drummed up was associated with the black doll. That's what they thought. They're like, hey, what do you think? Which doll do you think is ugly? Which doll do you think is mean? Which doll do you think is evil? They pointed to the black doll, and then from that, the Supreme Court, it influenced the Supreme Court ruling and say, well, black people are never going to be able to receive a quality education if they're educated amongst themselves. Deep. And so, what's my point? They didn't send no grown men in to look at no dang Barbie. They sent kids in because at that age, they was able to differentiate good and evil through skin. That's dangerous. So, when you talk about black men, this, that, and the other, this is a system, and this is exactly what we're going to show you in the time that we have left. You stupid wench, you need to do research, running around talking about you intelligent and your IQ is not even higher than your shoe size. You need to quit it. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this into perspective. We're going to show you how real people do it. You know what I'm saying? Because she's going to sit up there and talk about, if it wasn't for, she happened nerve to say this, if it was for the white man at any point in time could take away his woman from the black man, the ex-miscegenation laws and stuff like that. We're going to get to that, right? That's what she said. No, we're going to let you hear her talk for herself. We're not going to talk for her. We're not going to talk for her. We're going to let the wench talk herself. Let's go. We're going right to these receipts. Hold on. Yeah, gotcha. Sorry about 2 minutes because I can't hear her talk for too much, for too long. But. And
we may be doing a collaboration with her to discuss more about this situation and her perspective. And the reason why that's important, because look, Black women, these are the women that Black men are comparing you to. These are the women that Black men are telling you need to mimic. These are the women that Black men are telling you are more feminine than you. They make better maids, yada, yada, yada. We hear everything that they say. So it is to the benefit of Black women to listen to the perspective of women that Black men are telling you to mimic. Now, the reason this is important, because I'm going to show you some comments in the comment section of this, because I want to emphasize what protection looks like. Now, I've been telling you guys that these women are socialized very differently. Their men behave very differently. This isn't to praise or put anybody on a pedestal, but if Black men are going to compare you to these women, if Black men are going to prop these women up as their preference, then we have every right to compare Black men as men to men of other groups, because I've already told you guys that Black men's worship of white women is actually his worship of white men. Black men praise and envy white men.
I can't even hear her talk. That's so disgusting. Now, what have I shown you guys through all the research? What do you think? My love for a Black goddess is unmatched, especially now that I know exactly what I am. And the best gift that I can give, my son or my daughter is the Black-brown combination of melanin. You sound ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the thing, like we said before, we articulated. Like the X chromosome is 3.5 times bigger than the Y. You see what I'm saying? 3.5 times bigger. So what are we saying? Since we already know that we are diamond beings and that carbon only bonds in diamond cubic form, then that is saying that the woman's diamond is 3.5 times bigger than yours. Because what do we talk about? We talk about the thermal conductivity of the diamond. She's going to need to be able to generate all that heat for her birthing a son into existence. That's just science. So you know I already revere the Black superwoman. The most beautiful being walking around on this so-called planet. Period. And you have never heard any statements like that to state otherwise or for you to believe otherwise. But notice how she always going, Black men. Some Black men. And this is what these people, like I said, they're playing for the other team. So what are we going to do? Remember what I said? She said, oh, well, if the white man chooses to, he can just say he has miscegenation laws in place and he could just stop white women from, or Black men from getting with white women. And that's what? Are you stupid? I had white women, look, when I was young and dumb and didn't know no better, I had white girls sitting up there pitching tents outside of high school to get that D. Oh yeah, put the kids up right quick. Oh yeah, they search out for us. We don't run and they run and find us. Shit, cause I know I lay pipe. Shit, hell, if I wasn't a teacher, I would have been a damn plumber. Now, look, this is what you gotta understand when you talk about ignorance. We about to show. Now we're gonna play this clip. It's and it's just not. I didn't make it 13 seconds. It just happened to be 13 seconds. But we finna show you. We finna play it right now. 1976 copyright. Let's go. Let's get it.
Every white woman would love to have sex with a Moran. They say that they know how to have sex and they know how to handle women, and they've been coming and coming and coming.
What she say? She said they've been coming and coming and coming. White women, what did it say? What ex-miscegenation law is going to do? Them white women to pick up and go to Africa. Go to anywhere with this melanin that to get that D. You sound stupid. Because y'all still think that we running and trying to search for them. We don't live in these white women neighborhoods. Every white woman I've been with when I was younger came search me out. I ain't go looking for them. Need to check yourself. Let's go to more of the receipts to show that this is a global effort and show how uneducated this wench really is, because she act like, I'm intelligent. Black women, we need to give up on black men. Like black men ain't black boys. These women out here got black sons. You saying we should give up on black men? You sound stupid. Man, let's get it. Let's show her that this is global. And you finna crack up when you hear this dude talk. Not that he funny, but it just goes to show you, like I said, just how disillusional people are. Let's get to the receipts. Okay?
It's the color of your skin.
I'll start there.
Parents. Like when I was born in the hospital, Looking at me, their first reaction was, Ayyo. They said it so loudly, half the hospital thought I was a girl. My mom spent more money on almond milk to rub on my skin and make it fairer than buffalo milk to feed me. I was just born dark. I grew up to be dark and malnourished. Like I'm a fully grown adult today, but my mom doesn't let me touch coffee or tea. Saying drinking them will make me darker. People like my mom believe the color of what you eat affects the color of your skin. That's why South Indians are obsessed with eating everything in white.
Now you can talk to anybody from the hood. This nigga light-skinned at best. See, I said in India. This India. We already know what goes on in the United States. We already know. We see how India is. We already know what goes on in Africa. Okay, we already know what goes on in Europe. Okay, hold on. Let's try South America right quick. Let's see something. Let's see what's going on. Let's go to even more receipts. Let's go to even more receipts.
We've helped recover over.
Okay. Here you go. Hold on for a second. Sorry about that.
Aquela coisa mais sexuada, daquela mulata que aceita tudo e só serve para sambar.
1976 Copyright Act Section 107. This is for, obviously, for social
O preconceito
commentary
com
and
mulher aqui
educational
no Brasil é
purposes.
muito grande, mas com a mulher negra é maior ainda.
There's a small circle that you're supposed to be in when you're black. If you try to move out of that, you run into restrictions.
Okay, so she's an actress. She's about to enter into this ALLLL pageant, right? You know, that is very popular in Brazil. All right, and so now we're going to fast forward to the benchmark is 240. All right.
Carnaval na TV sempre foram mulheres mais claras que eu. Mas isso não me impediu de fazer o teste quando a Globo abriu seu primeiro concurso para achar a rainha do carnaval em 2013. Me ligaram falando, Nayara, parabéns, você passou, você está entre as 10 selecionadas. E para mim seria uma honra poder representar a maior festa popular brasileira.
Mostra o seu samba pra gente.
Durante o concurso parece que foi um conto de fadas. Foi um mês maravilhoso que culminou com uma vitória que foi pra gente inesquecível.
A Globeleza 2014 é Nayara.
Eu não acreditei. Eu só queria olhar, o telão estava atrás, né, de mim. Aí eu quis olhar pro telão e só vi minha mãe ajoelhada no chão. Pra mim fiquei muito feliz mesmo.
Everybody was like, wow, that's great. Maybe things are changing in Brazil. You have a very dark-skinned woman representing a Globeleza.
As negras que estão na televisão dificilmente são tão negras quanto ela.
Eu não pensei que ela fosse chegar num patamar tão alto, entendeu? Isso foi algo esplêndido.
Foram maravilhosas as semanas. A gravação da vinheta, ensaios fotográficos. Foi muito bom até a vinheta entrar no ar. Que aí aconteceram algumas coisinhas que não foram tão legais, que viraram uma bola de neve.
She was blacker than the previous Globelezas. She was probably what you would say black. The other Globelezas, for Brazilian standards, are mulatas.
In traditional Brazilian fashion, it wasn't but a few weeks before almost terrorist comments started coming in on the internet.
Chegaram críticas falando da cor da pele dela, né, por ela ser...
They made that woman give it up. Soon as it hit TV, they was like, get that nigga out of here. Too dark. See, this is the reason why you wonder why we associate mulattoes with Brazil. That's because they will have it no other way. You've seen individuals who are fair skinned talk about, I'm dark. My parents didn't know what to do with me. This is the world. What is this idiot talking about in a time like this when black supermen and black superwomen need each other? This woman talking garbage. It is a damn idiot. It's like I said with our ancestors, we knew that the epitome of love, or the height or the quintessence of love, would be the family unit. Right, like I said before, and it's like, what did our ancestors know? Especially, when we're talking about, everything. We talking about slavery. We talking about, the migrations in a lot of different areas, and coming upon hardships, because we knew that we were battling an evil force that we had never seen before. And the thing is that they knew that they might not have been able to experience love at its highest level because of that. So what did they do? They sacrificed for us so we would have the opportunity to build a family one day. So why is it when we're confronted with the same challenge that we sit up here and remain selfish? I just want a man, and then I just want a woman, and then shut up. Maybe you're going to have to sacrifice so that your child, or the future, even if you don't have children, so that they will have an opportunity to build a family. Shut up talking about you. If you spent half the time investing in yourself and learning how to be more attractive to a black Superman, you probably wouldn't have this problem, wench. That's what you need to know. Tired every time, black man this, black man that. Like, damn. This bitch like Damian Lillard, she shoot from the logo. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of the things that, like I said, we got to understand. We're going to pull up one more receipt to let them know that they have to, what we say, they have to have that car. But then they're like, oh, well, yeah, we're doing them a favor by making them civilized. We're going to breed them in and stuff like that. Look, this is a movie called Rabbit Proof Fence. This was based on a true story. I cannot make this stuff up. Like I said, based on a true story. It's only a minute and something, but we're going to go ahead and play it. We'll just let you know, like I said, we're going to show you how devious and dark they are and how they lie, because that's all they do is lie. And she talking about how black women need to listen to white women and stuff, and black men need to listen to what's going on with what they... Man, come on, get out of here. Let's run.
Now, what is to happen to them? Are we to allow the creation of an unwanted third race? Should the coloureds be encouraged to go back to the black? Or should they be advanced to white status and be absorbed in the white population? Now, time and again, I am asked by some white man, if I marry this coloured person, will our children be black?
Notice,
and as chief
it's the summer.
Aborigines, it is my responsibility
Look
to
how they
accept
dress.
or reject those marriages.
This Australia, hot as shit.
Here is the answer. 3 generations. Half-blood grandmother, quadroon daughter, octoroon grandson.
So half, 1/4, 1/8.
Or third cross, no trace of native origin is apparent. The continuing infiltration of white blood finally stamps out the black color. The Aboriginal has simply been bred
out. So if you was trying to bring it to be civilized, why are you breeding it out? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? That's an attempt to get the color. And by the 3rd generation to be bred out. I thought you just said you was bringing civilization to them. You see what I'm saying? And then you can't sit up there and say, oh, we don't want it. Notice what he said. He said, we don't want an unwanted race. Well, hold on. They not coming to you. They live in a hot region. They're indigenous. We're indigenous tribes. You can't even live where they live. So we know they're not fraternizing with you. You see, this is what we need to understand. Sometimes we may have to give it up. This is what I'm saying. If I don't get the opportunity to love a beautiful black woman, which is my dream, I'm telling you, that is my dream. Now that I know what a black woman represents and what she is, it's like I tell what I want for my son. If I can't love a black woman, I want him to be able to have the opportunity to. It's going to be one of the greatest experiences he could ever experience. I don't want him to love her. I want him to love her like she is his lifeline. And I don't want him to love her like he acts like he's known her since she was 3 or 4. I want him to act like he's known her since, it's been like 3 or 4 lifetimes. I want a beautiful love for him to experience. I want a future for them. And if we have to sacrifice our energy for that to be a reality, then so be it. All we know is we cannot continue to keep having people like this spit out divisive rhetoric and complicate a situation where we know that we live in an already ever divided community. Black man, black woman, black superman, black superwoman. I'm asking you to rise and awake to the challenge. And I'm going to reintroduce myself. My name is Heru Haynes, the Full Metal Alchemist. I work for the Most High, and I'm here to change the world. FOF Squad.